Call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, call the roll, please.
Connor.
Here.
Gary.
Here.
McMullen.
Here.
Reed.
Here.
Mayor Buda.
Here. Are there any changes to the agenda?
I will not need a closed session.
I'm looking at. Okay, so we will strike 14, 15, and 16. I'm missing one on the mirror one, so figure out which one that is. But okay, all right. This time, I will open the floor for public comment. If you have comment for the council, please come to the podium, and you have a 3-minute time limit. Anybody? Okay, seeing none, we will go to new business. Item 1, public hearing regarding the proposed budget for fiscal year 2025, City of Streator. Can I get a motion and second to open the public hearing?
So moved. Second.
Okay, motion by Tim and second by Dave Reed. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Connor.
Aye.
Gary.
Aye.
McMullen.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Mayor Buda.
Aye. Are there any comments from the public or council members regarding the budget?
Well, I give you just a little brief summary. Staff met with the council in November to review each expense line by line. I followed up with, Steve Linco and I followed up with a review of all of the revenue estimates and discussed how to balance. The overall budget is, glasses away, is $25,567,030, of which the general fund expense is $13,153,878. As you recall, our revenues, general fund revenues, will pretty much cover our normal operating costs, but we're not able to fund the capital needs through those operational dollars. And so we've allocated in the budget the use of non-home rule sales taxes to fund capital. Because of the nature of capital being over $20,000, each of those expense requests will have to be reviewed and approved individually by the city council. So staff won't be able to undertake any of the capital projects without council approval. The 499 property tax levy essentially funded the increases required to fund the police and fire pensions, with about $25,000 of additional funding going to the library, and really no additional funding going to support general fund operations. In fact, even at the 499 levy, we've had to find other ways to manage about $25,000 of general fund costs. project, the sewer fund has a couple of large projects underway, as you know, that we're budgeting for. We intended to use sewer fund reserves to fund for the most part, the sewer plant project, for example. And I think we also have Vermillion Street that will be funded over the year. So the sewer fund is in a deficit, but that was planned that way. And the solid waste fund, the garbage collection fund, our contract with Waste Management expires this year, so I anticipate having to revisit either an extension of that contract or going out and soliciting proposals from other firms, from Waste Management as well as other firms. And I expect that there will be a need to have an increase in garbage revenues and fees. We actually have been operating that fund at a loss for the last year or two, so we'll need to make an adjustment there. But that isn't, the additional cost and adjustment is not reflected in this budget. It's difficult to know what that cost will be. Any questions?
Yeah. There's nothing in there additional for economic development,
I
correct?
believe we put in $60,000.
Additional?
Yeah, I think, I directed Steve to make that change.
And then on the solid waste, why don't we raising the rates every year, or when we get to a point where we're starting to lose money?
We probably need to do that.
Well, yeah,
We have to wait for the contract in before we can change it.
we can't change our rates.
Well, we could change it, at the next meeting, but I wouldn't want to change it twice, and then when we get this spring, we're gonna have a new contract, we're gonna be able to forecast what our costs are gonna be and what our shortfalls will be, and then figure out over what period of time we want to increase the rates to cover those costs.
Because during the term of that contract, we can raise our rates to the citizens so we don't lose money on it, can't we?
Right, we can. Our contract with the provider does not limit our ability to charge fees.
And we're doing this it's somewhat similar with the sewer plant where we had an increase and then it said every May 1% from here to here on out. So, excuse me, I think we could probably set up something similar once we
Yeah.
know.
But it's been
That'll
quite a few
be-
years now since we've had a rate increase for garbage. And we offer a really good program here. Hazardous materials, electric, yard waste. It's a good program.
One bulk item, which we can do once a week. Here, I know outside of the city limits, someone was trying to do that, and it was $50 for one pickup. Whereas in city limits, you can get every week as part of your bill. So that was one, I was kind of surprised actually when, when I saw that cost come through.
Yeah, I had a township road supervisor complaining to me about someone who dumped, I think, a sulfur or something in a ditch. And I said, well, it probably didn't come from the city limits because they could put that out. Would have been easier for them to put it out for collection than to throw it in the back of a pickup and haul it out to
Yeah.
the countryside.
Any other comments or questions from council? Okay, and I guess I just wanted to mention for, again, this is not to be taken any way by police and fire. The pension payments are $204,000 of the $222,000 increase. And we are legally required to fund that and have a 90% pension funding by 2040 per state law. And that's just, I mean, that's where most of it's coming from. I looked at my first year on council and 44% of the tax levy was for pensions, and now it's 53% with this budget. So it's not, again, nothing, it's what we're legally required to do based on laws that happened in Springfield years ago. So with that increase, we still have to cut the general fund, so I wanna make sure that's clear, because I get a lot of questions on where does the money go, why do you always increase, and that was a majority on this specific item.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that this council has to be taxing to provide, to cover the cost of services that were probably provided 20 years ago.
And,
But that's
and
just-
hopefully by 2040, the state doesn't change their mind
Yeah.
and extend that
Well,
deadline
it's
out
not
and make
just the
it,
state, but-
but, yeah.
There was probably years where the city did not fully fund your obligations. Or it could have been, you know,
Yeah.
maybe the investments could have been better made. Ultimately, we have an obligation to fund pensions even before we fund operations.
Absolutely. And we, you know, police and fire are jobs you wanna be able to retire from, so those are, we don't want 70, 80-year-old officers on the street, so.
Well, yeah, that's not
Either.
gonna work.
No, we don't. But that was just my comment, is that's a large portion of this year's increase.
Yeah, nearly all.
With that, I'll request a motion and second to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Dave Connor with a motion and Matt McMillan with a second. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Connor,
Aye.
Gary.
Aye.
McMullen.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Mayor Beat.
Aye. Okay, item 2, ordinance 2024-34, adopting and approving a budget for the city of Streator for the fiscal year 2025, commencing January 1st, 2025, and ending December 31st, 2025. I get a motion and second.
So moved.
Second.
Right, Tim with the motion and Matt with the second. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Connor,
Aye.
Gary.
Aye.
McMullen.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Mayor Beat.
Aye. Item 3, ordinance 2024-35, for the levy and assessment of taxes on real property for all purposes for defraying expenses for all corporate purposes for the city of Streator, LaSalle, and Livingston counties, Illinois, for the fiscal year commencing January 1st, 2025, and ending December 31st, 2025. Get a motion and second.
So moved.
Second.
There was a tie. So Matt with the motion, and I believe, well, Tim with the second. It was very close. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Connor,
Aye.
Gary.
Aye.
McMullen.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Mayor Beat.
Aye. Item 4, ordinance 2024-36, abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2024 to pay the principal of and interest on 3.2 million general obligation bonds, alternate revenue source, series 2015 of the city of Streator, LaSalle, and Livingston counties. I get a motion and second.
So moved. Second.
And Matt with a motion and Dave Connor with the second. Any discussion?
Well, these are abatement ordinances council has to make every year after they approve the tax levy. When the city incurred debt in years past, it agreed to levy a property tax to cover the debt service payments. These bond issues were intended to be funded with alternate revenues like TIF or sales taxes, which we are doing. And so unless you abate the taxes, or if you don't abate the taxes, then additional taxes, property taxes will be collected, and if you abate the tax rate would be even higher. So this is just a routine of it.
Wouldn't it be easier to do these all under one vote? Are we
Uh,
allowed to do that?
Individual ordinances based on each bond issue, this is the way.
They're all very
The lawyers
repetitive.
like it to be.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager.
Just trying to save a few minutes.
I understand.
Any further comments or questions? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Connor,
Aye.
Gary.
Aye.
McMullen,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Mayor Beat.
Aye. Item 5, ordinance 2024-37, ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2023 to pay the principal. I think that's a typo.
Yeah.
I looked at it and said that does not, for 2024, to pay the principal of and interest on $2,340,000 general obligation bond series 2016B of the city of Streator, LaSalle, and Livingston counties. Need a motion and second.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Dave Reed with the motion and Matt McMullen with the second. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Connor,
Aye.
Gary.
Aye.
McMullen,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Mayor Beat.
Aye. Item 6, ordinance 2024-38, ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2024 to pay the principal of and interest on $1.485 million general obligation bonds, series 2017A of the city of Streator, LaSalle, and Livingston counties. I get a motion and second.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Matt McMullen with the motion and Dave Connor with the second. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Connor,
Aye.
Gary.
Aye.
McMullen,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Mayor Beat.
Aye. Item 7, ordinance 2024-39, ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2024 to pay the principal of and interest on $1.325 million general obligation bonds, alternate revenue source, series 2017B of the city of Streator, LaSalle, and Livingston counties. Can I get a motion and second?
So moved. Second.
Tim with the motion and Dave Reed with the second. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Connor,
Aye.
Gary.
Aye.
McMullen,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Mayor Beat.
Aye. Ordinance 2024-40, ordinance abating the tax levied for year 2024 to pay the principal and interest on $585,000 general obligation bonds, alternate revenue source, series 2017C of the city of Streator, LaSalle, and Livingston counties, Illinois. I get a motion and second.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, Matt and Tim with the second. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Connor,
Aye.
Gary.
Aye.
McMullen,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Mayor Beat.
Aye. Item 9, ordinance 2024-41, abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2024 to pay the principal of and interest on $2.5 million general obligation bonds, alternate revenue source, series 2019 of the city of Streator, LaSalle, and Livingston counties. Get a motion and second.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Dave Connor with the motion and Matt with the second. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Connor,
Aye.
Gary.
Aye.
McMullen,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Mayor Beat.
Aye. Item 10, resolution 2024-56, appropriating $439,000 of MFT funds in connection with roadway maintenance projects for the maintenance of streets and highways by the city of Streator under the provisions of the Illinois Highway Code. I get a motion and second.
So moved. Second.
Okay, Tim with the motion and Dave Reed with the second.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the annual appropriation of MFT funds. It'll cover the aggregate oil and salt for next year, for fiscal year 25 for the Public Works Department. And then there's also $235,000 for the MFT road project as part of the 5-year plan, which would be North Shabana, north of Owens, in the asphalt section from it's Ralph Plum up to 4th Street.
Okay, any comments or questions? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Connor,
Aye.
Gary.
Aye.
McMullen,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Mayor Beat.
Aye. Item 11, motion to approve the purchase and installation of a new return activated sludge pump for the wastewater treatment plant. Get a motion and second.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Dave Connor with the motion and Dave Reed with the second.
So this one, we were all down there this year with our 3 return pumps. Basically, it takes, material that's been halfway through the process and puts it back, portion of the flow back to keep the bugs alive, so there's always active, bugs eating up the material down there. And so there's 3 pumps, one of them has failed, it's been out for a couple months, we're trying to wait to get to this new year, we didn't need to kind of impact our budget for 24, we were waiting to get to 25, but, they're an important part of the process, and so they're all about of equal age. You see here they're about 30 years old. I think one is maybe about 15 years old, but we don't want to be in a position where we don't replace them when we need to. So recommend approval.
So something we should do, just plan duties in the next few years, so
We can't, but I mean, but
at least buy one more and have it on hand.
Yeah, so we could do that. Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad
Makes
idea.
sense to have a backup.
Yeah. So.
Because if they're 30 years old,
Yeah, and they've been great, I mean, they've been repaired through the years, but at this point, this one's been repaired a couple times, and it's time for a new one, so. But no, planning ahead and having that stuff, it's just a big dollar amount that the council wishes to put on a shelf and waiting for future, so.
Any other comments or questions? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Connor,
aye.
Gary. Aye. McMullen.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Mayor Beat.
Aye. Item 12, the consent agenda. Need a motion and second to approve the consent agenda with fund warrant total of $1,219,485.38.
Second.
Okay, Tim with the motion and Matt with the second. Any discussion? Clerk, call the roll, please.
Connor,
Aye.
Gary. Aye. McMullen.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Mayor Beat.
Aye. Item 13, city official comments. Any
I
comments?
just have, wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I do believe Light Up Streator has carriage race in park this weekend.
I can't hear you, Tim.
I do believe Light Up Streator has carriage rides this weekend in the city park going around the park for, I do believe it's
Saturday, 5 to 8.
Yep. That's it.
Just Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever it is you celebrate. Be politically correct to cover everybody.
All right.
I'm good.
Okay, I will say the same. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. I hope you have a good one. And thank staff for getting through another budget season. 'Cause I know that's a Christmas gift in itself, right?
Well, we're in 2 different counties, so there's still additional work getting into the filings with the 2 counties.
Yes.
So there's always that last minute scramble.
Okay, any other comments? Then I'll request a motion and second to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Matt with the motion, Dave Reed with the second. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Connor,
Aye.
Gary. Aye. McMullen.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Mayor Beat.
Aye. Adjourned.
That's for that.